Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. And, of course, if you need a roof, give us a shout, 364-1007. The name of the new roofing company coming any day now. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, y'all. A ton to get to today. NFL draft is in the rearview mirror. So, um, NFL draft in the rearview mirror. We'll run through what the Saints did, what Tigers got selected. We'll look at some of the UDFA's, and LSU baseball with a walk-off win last night. So we got a lot to get to. Let me start with the one that I think everybody's most interested in. The Saints drafted quarterback Spencer Rattler. Now, for whatever it's worth, you can take this for what it's worth, but Pro Football Focus gave 4 teams an A-plus grade. 4. The Colts, the Eagles, the Steelers, and the Saints. They gave the Saints an A-plus grade. And I actually really like what the Saints did. I want to start with Spencer Rattler because I think that's the thing that everybody is most interested in. I like the Spencer Rattler pick a lot. And I want to tell you that I'm probably coming with my opinion on Rattler from the same position where I came with my opinion on the Jameis Winston signing back in the day. A lot of you clowned me because a lot of all you could remember was crab legs and interceptions. And the thing that I told you was, look, his entire life, Jameis Winston was the best at everything he did. He was the first kid picked at recess. He was the star quarterback in high school. He was a 5-star. He started as a redshirt freshman at Florida State, won a national championship. He also played baseball. He would have been a first-round pick in baseball. He was the first pick of the draft. He started as a rookie, had a 5,000-yard season. Like, he had everything. His entire athletic career was always, I don't want to say given to him, but he was always the guy. And the first time he ever met adversity was when Tampa said, yeah, we don't think you're our guy. And he was humbled by that. My point was, look, at 24, 25, 26, 27 years old, when you're married with a child, like, you mature, you learn things in your life that you don't know when you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. It's just, you can't know or understand what you don't know until you experience certain things. We all know that as adult people. And I think a lot of that's true with Spencer Rattler. If you went and looked at the video of him getting drafted, most draft videos are families hugging and celebrating, and it's all this like over the top joy, and it should be. It's elation. I mean, it's a great, proud moment. Spencer Rattler sat there and just nodded his head, put on the Saints hat, hugged his family, let's go to work, sort of thing. Like, that dude was the number 1 quarterback in the country coming out of high school. He was a starter at Oklahoma. Before the 21 season, like the way too early mock draft going into 2021, he was projected as the number 1 pick in the draft by Mel Kiper. He lost his job by Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams had to come rescue Oklahoma in the Red River shootout, Red River rivalry. He loses his job to Caleb Williams, transfers to South Carolina, ends up spending a couple of seasons there. South Carolina was not very good, but everything they had offensively was because of him. And throughout the draft process, he slips and falls and all this stuff. But the bottom line is, y'all, that's a dude who has elite physical ability. And he is a motivated alpha, like with elite ability, who has something to prove. I like that. The other part of it that I like is the thing that I've said now for a while with respect to the Saints. In their history, the Saints have used a first-round pick one time on a quarterback that was Archie Manning. That's it. And they've never used a second-round pick on a quarterback. The only time they've ever used a third-round pick on a quarterback was Garrett Grayson out of Colorado State. That's it. So in 57 years, they've used 2 picks in the top 3 rounds on a quarterback. Well, the only time in the modern draft era, in the 7-round draft era, that the Saints have taken a quarterback in back-to-back seasons was when they went Ian Book, Tommy Stevens. Now, Book was a fourth rounder, but Stevens, they weren't even drafting as a quarterback. They were drafting him in the Taysom Hill role, as we all recall. So that doesn't even really count. So this is really the only time and the only other time they did it was they did it 3 straight years in the 70s, like 70, 71, 72. Um, so the Saints drafting a quarterback in back-to-back classes is definitely an outlier for them. It's not something that they do. So if you're not going to, my point is, if you're not going to commit draft capital at the front of the draft, um, uh, on a quarterback, then you better start trying to win in the draft with numbers at quarterback and find your version of Dak in round 4, Kirk Cousins in round 4. I know everybody always talks about Purdy in round 7 or Tom Brady in round 6 or Mark Bol. You drafted Mark Bulger in round 6. He became an NFL starting quarterback, but you cut him as a rookie. So anyway, I like it. I like very, very much the Spencer Rattler pick. In round 5, you want to go through the history of Saints 5th round picks? We go through the history of Saints 5th round picks. You'll find some hits in there. Like Carl Nicks was a 5th round pick. Like, so you'll find hits in round 5, but you're also going to find total busts. Let's run through it. Here's the Saints 5th round picks in their history. Last year, Jordan Howden, pretty good so far. 2 years ago, DeMarco Jackson, nope. Natrell Jamerson. Well, they've not picked in round 5 a bunch. Davis Tull, nope. Tyler Davison, who unfortunately made more of an impact elsewhere than he did in New Orleans. Vinny Sunseri, Ronald Powell, Kenny Stills was a hit, but you traded him. Corey White, nope. Matt Tennant, total bust. Thomas Morstead. Demario Presley, nope. Carl Nicks, yes. David Jones, no. Rob Ninkovich, maybe the biggest whiff in Saints history because he ended up being a great NFL player, but you cut him as a rookie. Rodney Leslie, Mike Carney played a good while as a fullback. You get my point, right? Like you understand my point. Like a 5th round pick is far from a certainty to even make your roster, let alone be a contributor, let alone be a star. So if you have an opportunity to potentially get great value at the most important position from a guy that's an elite talent that fell in some hard times trying to pick him up, it's well worth the risk. That's just my opinion on the matter. The Saints draft as a whole, we talked about Taliesin Fuanga. I talked yesterday about Kool-Aid McKinstry. I like those 2 picks. Of course, I like the Spencer Rattler pick. I can't say I know much about Bub Means, the wide receiver out of Pitt, but they needed a receiver. They got one. They went with linebacker Jalen Ford out of Texas, who Jalen Ford had some amazing plays at Texas. He also had some games where he totally disappeared. That's a guy where if he can ever find consistency, could be a really good player. And obviously, as we talked about it, you got Pete Werner and you got Willie Gay on a 1-year contract. Mario Davis getting older. Pete Werner is, in the final year of his rookie deal. You got some decisions to make. Christian Boyd at defensive tackle, big interior player. That's a guy who they brought in for a top 30 visit that we talked about. He was teammates with Trevor Penning at Northern Iowa. You needed defensive tackle help. They went small school Senior Bowl like they always do, but that's a guy that they liked a lot. And then in round 7, they picked an offensive tackle and Josiah Ezerim. So, big, long, athletic guy. So you got another offensive lineman. So let's see how it goes. I feel like, look, they needed offensive line help. They got 2, including one at 14. That's a day 1 starter. You needed defensive tackle help. You got a big physical interior player. You needed a wide receiver. You picked one later than I would have liked, but they love the value they got there with Bub Means. I guess my point is and then you added maybe the best cornerback in the draft, maybe, and you added a super, high ceiling potential quarterback. So I like what they did, man. I like what the Saints did in this draft. And if I didn't, I would tell you. LSU draft recap quickly, and we'll get to we'll say some good mornings here in a second. Congrats to the Tigers that got selected. My apologies. 1 second here, guys, real quick. Sorry. It's gonna be easier to do this just so I have it in order. Jordan Jefferson went to Jacksonville. So 3 players go to Jacksonville. Brian Thomas, Mason Smith, and Jordan Jefferson all go to Jacksonville. Congrats to Mekhi Wingo going to Detroit. I think him waiting to round 6 was a little bit of a surprise, but being undersized and coming off of an injury probably, hurt him a bit as well. But a good day overall for those guys. So we'll wait and see, where a lot of the UDFAs, um, Charles Turner signed with the Patriots. That's right. I'm trying to look up this list real quick. Turner signed with the Patriots. Andre Sam. Um, Let me see if I have any more. Andre Sam with the Eagles. Omar Spates with the Rams. Um, those are the only three I'm seeing right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. So, okay, y'all. We'll say some good mornings and we'll talk LSU baseball as well. Tigers walk off Auburn last night, 3-2. Had to have it and they got it. So they go for the sweep today. All right. Kelly Gross, Thomas, good morning. GameCube man, how about the win from the Tigers last night? Pitching was amazing. What about the clutch hitting? Still got a lot of arms ready to go for today. That's probably the biggest part is that you have the arms, you save the arms for today. Holman going back out for the 7th was crazy. He ended up throwing 113 pitches, a season high. So he gave you 6 2/3. Gavin Guidry came out, and he got 2 strikeouts because he got the strikeout to end the inning, and Milazzo couldn't block it up. Came back, got another strikeout to end the inning for a second time. Ackenhausen came out, gave you an inning and a third, and then uh, Hurd closed it out for you. So Hurd only threw 3 pitches. He got the liner to left. So Hurd could definitely go for you again today if you need him. You obviously still have Griffin Herring available. I didn't hear Jay Johnson's comments after the game on what the injury was to Ackenhausen. They didn't say on the broadcast. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. But yeah, you had plenty of arms today to try to go get it. You need to swing the bats. You know, to put up 3 runs on 10 hits is massively disappointing. You had 2 solo homers, and then you didn't, when Tommy White and Jared Jones went back to back in the 3rd, and you didn't score again until the bottom of the 9th. Just so disappointing. They tried to manufacture a run with bunting, and Milazzo missed they bunted a runner over. Milazzo missed a bunt on a squeeze play, and Stravinsky got thrown out. Y'all know my feeling on it, whatever. But anyway, all's well that ends well. Tigers had to win. They got the win. The pitching has been the story the last 2 weeks as the Tigers have finally started to find something on the mound, something reflective of what we thought they were going to be on the mound, and that's a huge, huge, huge thing for this team. Wendell Norman, Brian Broom, Zandel, good morning. Casey Smith, Thomas, I hope Willie Green and Ingram are on the Pels next year. Yeah, I didn't even include that. Pels laid down. Their season's over. It's not worth talking about. They had a chance at home. They laid down completely. It was a whitewashing. Their season's done. Don't care. I'll talk about them another day. Good morning, Matt. Mickey has lost his mind. You're gonna have to tell me why Mickey has lost his mind, Jason. I thought they nailed it on the draft. I think they had a great draft. James McKinney, Joseph Fallsgraf, Austin Kidder. Good morning. 2 SEC baseball series in a row. Lloyd Christmas says so. You're telling me there's a chance. They've done what they had to do, right? They've got back-to-back wins. You get A&M coming in next week. That's going to be tough. If you sweep today, it makes winning the series next week less critical and just finding a way to scratch out a win against A&M. Spurge, what's up? Joseph Feltwell. You said something about Spencer yesterday, and we actually got him. Crazy. Yeah, so yesterday we were talking about here, I think people yesterday, Joseph, had asked me maybe about Jordan Travis, and I would have been fine with Jordan Travis, who went a little bit after. I think I'd have to pull up the draft tracker. Jordan Travis, who went to the Jets, by the way. So they were making jokes about, Aaron Rodgers. How's Aaron Rodgers going to react to that? But let's see. I don't need to go dig it up, but anyway, yeah. I'm not losing my mind, am I? I thought Jordan Travis went off the board in round 5. Oh, okay, it was the pick after the Saints took Bub Means. That's where it was. He wasn't around 5. Um, so Jordan Travis went to the Jets at number 171 overall. So I'd have been fine with Jordan Travis. I love the Spencer Rattler pick. Why not? Like Derek Carr is not going to ever bring you anywhere of significance. So you want to know your opportunity to get out of it, out of this awful situation, is you hit on a young quarterback that allows you to reset your salary cap because you're not paying a quarterback $100 million. Anyway, Jacksonville, aka LSU Pro, yeah, 3 Jaguars there. Mont Dog, what's up? Robert Mason, A minus. What you think? I don't know about grades, Robert. I mean, A, B, C, I, whatever. I'll leave that to other people. But um, um, I think they did well. I mean, like, I would have loved to have seen him get a receiver higher in the draft. But if you gave me the option to take Kool-Aid McKinstry, who might be the best cornerback in the draft, I mean, okay. I don't think we're ever going to look back and say, man, what a bummer they took Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think he's going to be a starter in the NFL. Cardell Brumfield, I like the Rattler pick. I think this has been the Saints' best draft the last 5 years. I want to remind y'all, like, we never know who won or lost the draft. Like, it's impossible to grade a draft now because none of us know. We think we know. We think, all I can say about a draft coming out of it is, were you smart with your draft capital? Did you get good players and address needs? I mean, I love going back and looking at the 2017 draft is the Saints' best draft ever. As we all know, they nailed every pick in that draft. And you go back and look at some of the draft grades. I've seen like C minus or C plus, B minus, on coming right out of that draft. Like the Kamara trade, people gave it a C minus. I was looking at it yesterday. Like, you don't know. None of us. I don't know. You don't know. Draft analysts don't know. You never know how it's going to play out until it does. But did you get, what was your biggest position need? Offensive line. Well, you got 2 offensive linemen, including a day 1 starter. Okay. You needed interior defensive line help. You got a giant run stuffer who you spent a lot of time with. Okay. You picked a guy you spent a lot of time scouting at the Senior Bowl. You brought him in for a top 30 visit. Cool. You got a starting cornerback. You got a quarterback that has huge boom potential. You needed another receiver. You got a receiver that everyone seems to unanimously agree you got great value on with Bub Means. I'm looking up his stats from last year. I mean, Bub Means is a big dude. He's 6'2", 215. I mean, he was a big receiver. He started his career at Tech, and then went to Pitt for 2 seasons. And last year had 41 catches for 721, 6 scores. Averaged 17 yards a catch. Like, okay, I'm down with that. Big 6'2", 215-pound receiver that averages nearly 18 yards of reception. Okay. Anyway, Robert Rattler, that kid can sling it. So I'm Manning Passing Academy. He can. He has a mate. Okay. All right, Montauk. Thank you. He has amazing physical ability. Finish strong. Spencer in the first couple rounds would be a big no. In the 5th round, huge value, insane upside. That's the point. If they had taken Spencer Rattler in round 2, I'd be sitting here going, what in the world are you thinking? In round 5? I mean, yeah, okay. I'll use one of your 4 5th-round picks on Spencer Rattler, who could end up potentially. I mean, what if in a year? Look, so Spencer Rattler comes in, he sits this year. He sits this year behind Carr. Maybe next year going into the season, Carr and Rattler are battling for the starting job, and maybe he wins it. And then guess what? You've got a 5th-round pick on a rookie deal as your starting quarterback. Okay, you want to fix your salary cap issues? That's a way to do it. That's why I think they should take quarterback every year. Literally, if you're not going to use a 1st-round pick on a quarterback, then I think you should use a mid or late round pick on a quarterback every year and try to hit with numbers. Try to find your Dak in round 4, your Cousins in round 4, instead of just like every now and again going, oh, Ian Book, oh, Garrett Grayson, oh, Jake Haener. Like, give me one every year. Give me one every year until you hit. Bubba Smith, Brian Penton, good morning. Bailey, I went to the game Friday. I hear a voice I've heard before. I turn around and see Musso shouting, gotta get a here. Gotta get a hit here. Have to get a hit. That's our boy. Irfan Sayad, what's going on? Let's see. Roger English, wish your volume was a little louder. Roger, I can turn it up on my soundboard. I don't think anyone's ever had that problem. Or if you've had that problem, that's probably on your end. Maybe if like turn up your phone, if you're watching on your phone or your computer, turn it up. I mean, I can turn my soundboard louder, but I don't. But no, you're the only one that said that. You may want to like close out the app and like restart the app and see if that helps. Matt, you'd perform better on the court than BI and CJ in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm not interested in talking about the Pelicans at all. Like, if you're just gonna quit, then I'm not interested in talking about you. The Pelicans quit. I'm not interested in talking about them. Charles Barkley said they're already checked out. What do you say? They're in so they're not even going to Cancun. They're in what's the Galveston or whatever. Said they're in the dirty water in Texas. Irfan Sayad, clutch hit by Milazzo. So many missed opportunities again. Yep. Milazzo led off the ninth with the knock that ended up being the game-winning run, which is why also I would not have tried to bunt Milazzo. He also had a huge hit for you on Friday night with the double in the gap. Was it the bottom of the seventh? Bottom of the seventh. Kling struck out. Larson doubled. White struck out. They intentionally walked Jones, and Pearson struck out. That's when you had a chance to break the tie. Maybe it must have been the sixth. Nope. Where was in the fifth when Travinsky 233? Yeah. As in the fourth. I thought it was later in the game. So Travinsky walked. Braswell singled. So you got first and second, nobody out. They bunt Milam. So you got second and third, one out. Again, remember, there is no scenario in baseball. I don't know how many more times I can say this to you before you actually let it sink in and believe me. And it's not even my opinion. Like, this is math. There is no all the analytics have shown this. There is no scenario in baseball where your probability of scoring a run increases when you give up an out to advance a runner. It's not to score a run, to advance a runner. You could have first and second, nobody out. You bunt, and now you have second and third, one out. Your run scoring probability does not increase, as opposed to having nobody out and runners on first and second. Because with a runner on second base hit, any type of hit scores a run. Anyway. So you bunt, there's one out, second and third. And what happens? Milazzo tries to the squeeze, doesn't get the bunt down. Travinsky's out because he had broken for home. And then Milazzo grounds out the first, so you don't get the run home. Y'all love to tell me about how the bunt's a great tool and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. No. It feels like the right thing to do. Like, everyone say, yeah, second, yeah, good. You got the bunt down, second and third, nobody out. Here we go. And what happened? We got to execute. That's the point. But you put yourself in a tougher situation because you've given up an out. Okay, my dog, dude, you're in a mood today, bro. It's Sunday morning. It's a beautiful day. Like, just nothing but overt negativity here, man. Go for a walk, man. Trivia Carter, good morning. Anthony, good morning. They could find a way to win a regional. I don't care if they go 2 and done. Just avoid the Ole Miss and Mississippi State scenario. I'll call the season a success. You mean not making the postseason? Like, they're going to make the postseason. Like, LSU is going to make, like, those two teams didn't make the SEC tournament, Anthony. Like, LSU is going to make the SEC tournament. That's the thing that as they were going through the first half gauntlet and everybody was melting. And I'm not telling you it's acceptable to be 3-12 in the league. I'm telling you, like, that's not acceptable. But the thing that we kept saying over and over again was it lightens up in the second half and you're going to have an opportunity. You're going to make the SEC tournament. It's just a matter of, like, what is your ceiling at this point with this team? So we'll see. Irfan, love the Rattler pick. Hope he develops. It's worth a flyer, man. It's Poppy. What's going on, man? Larry Garner, what's up? Milton Borrell, very much agreed, Matt. A+ draft. Excited for the new season. Disappointed in the Pels. I'm tired of waiting for them to develop. This team needs to be blown up. CJ and BI bye. I disagree with you completely on BI. I do think CJ is getting older, and that's a conversation you're going to have in this offseason. I think you have to have the Willie Green conversation as well. Like, is he the coach right now to lead you to playoff success? And I don't know that the answer to that is yes. Jerry, good morning. Josh Langlois, what up? Yeah, thank you, Jerry. I'm wheels up tomorrow to New York City. We'll do morning scone as usual tomorrow. I'll bring Drew to school, then I'm heading up to New York City. Cool thing, I get to get, like, I don't know if y'all know, if y'all ever heard of Gary Vaynerchuk. I won something. Like, he's got a whole crypto thing he does, V Friends. I won something where I get to go have dinner with Gary V. I'm like one of 20 people at his restaurant in New York tomorrow night. So I was like, oh, well, I'll fly up for that. So taking a day off, I'll fly up tomorrow, go to that. I land in New York at 4. The dinner's at 7. We go to the dinner, sleep in New York, wake up tomorrow and fly home. So, but it's worth. I think it's a really cool thing. So that's where I'm going tomorrow. Devin, still not convinced Rattler was a good pick. Okay, Devin. Like, what would have been a good pick? Listen. With any draft pick, you have to weigh potential upside versus what you gave up to get the player, right? Like, that's how you have to approach the draft, because all of the draft is, to a degree, a crapshoot. Like, there is no certainty with anything. I mean, Jamarcus Russell was the number 1 pick in the draft and was a total bust. Ryan Leaf went 2. RG3 went 2. Zach Wilson went 2. Mitchell Trubisky, was he 2 or 3? Listen, like, there is no certainty in the draft. What you want to do is match your upside with your risk, right? Like, or minimize risk to match or maximize upside. Like, that's what you hope to do in the draft. So you're not convinced it's a good pick. It's a 5th round pick. I just went through the history of Saints 5th round picks. You are in no way guaranteed to get a starter or even someone that makes your team in round 5. I mean, I'll run through it again. Let's run through it again. Let's run through the Saints 5th round picks again. All right, let's count them out. So we decide. Okay. Jordan Howden last year, so far so good. 1 out of 1. DeMarco Jackson, nope. 1 out of 2. Nate Charles Jamerson, nope. 1 out of 3. Davis Tull, nope. 1 out of 4. Tyler Davidson made the team, but then ultimately made his way with the Falcons. But I'll give it to you 2. So 2 out of 5. Vinny Sinceri, nope. 2 out of 6. Ronald Powell, nope. 2 out of 7. Kenny Stills, I'll give you a 3 out of 8. Corey White, nope. That's 3 out of 9. Matt Tennant, absolutely not. That's 3 out of 10. Thomas Morstead, yep, 4 out of 11. Demario Presley, absolutely not. 4 out of 12. Carl Nix, yep, 5 out of 13. David Jones, nope, 5 out of 14. Ninkovich, you cut him, 5 out of 15. Adrian McPherson, nope, 5 out of 16. Rodney Leslie, nope, 5 out of 18. Mike Carney, yep, 6 out of 19. Melvin Williams, nope, 6 out of 20. You want me to keep going? I'm back to 2002. So 6 of the 25th round picks that you've made have actually been to 30%, right? 30%? Is my math good there? Yeah, 30%. The Saints over the last 22 years have a 30% hit rate in round 5. So when there's a 70% chance, 70% chance whoever you take with that pick is not making the team. 70% chance the guy you take with that pick is not making the team. You mean to tell me I could take a quarterback who at one point was the number 1 quarterback in the country, 2 years ago was mocked as the number 1 quarterback in the draft, has as much physical ability as any quarterback in this draft, and I can get him to work with an OC quarterback combo that just made Mr. Irrelevant an NFC championship game, a Super Bowl starting quarterback? Okay. I'll take that risk on a pick that has a 30% chance of hitting. Tell me why that's a terrible pick. You have a 30% chance of hitting on that pick. And you're going to tell me I got an opportunity to take a guy that's as physically gifted as any quarterback in this draft that can absolutely make every throw and all that sort of stuff. And if he hits, now I got a starting quarterback in round 5? Why is that a bad pick? Anyway. Kyle DeVille, we feeling better about DA and Loomis now? I don't know. I mean, like, let's look at last year's draft. I think sometimes your draft history determines whether or not you deserve the benefit of the doubt. For a long time, this team didn't. They drafted terribly. When they brought in Jeff Ireland and the 2017 draft happened, they kind of turned things around. Now, they've had some notorious misses. Like, missing on Peyton Turner was awful. But, like, I can go through. Look, Brian Brzee was a really good rookie for you last year. Isaiah Foskey, very much jury's still out. Kendre Miller, when he was healthy and played, was really good. I think there's upside. Nick Saldiveri, 4th-round pick, redshirt year last year. Hayner, you took a flyer. Jordan Howden in round 5, you hit. A.T. Perry in round 6, you hit. Like, they did. Olave, you missed on Penning so far. Alante Taylor's been a starter for you. DeMarco Jackson and Jordan Jackson. One didn't make the team, one got injured. But Peyton Turner was a miss. Pete Werner's been great. Adebo's been great. Ian Book was a miss. Landon Young's made your team. Quan Baker was a miss in round 7, but you took a flyer. Like, I guess I look at it and I go, like, they deserve the benefit of the doubt because in the last 7 years, they've had some notorious misses. Don't get me like Peyton Turner, Trevor Penning, like some of those high-profile misses stink, but they've had a lot of hits. And so it's like you just asked, like, do they deserve the benefit of the doubt in the way that they scout and go about the draft? And the answer is yes, because they've had more hits than misses. Now, how they handle the salary cap, what they've done in free agency, the decisions they've made on who to pay, who not to pay, like letting Marcus Williams and Trey Hendrickson walk, but deciding to pay Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore, were those the right decisions? In hindsight, it looks like they were the wrong decisions. But at the time, was anybody upset about paying Michael Thomas or Alvin Kamara or Marshawn Lattimore? Mike Hardy, more from Jersey, curious what we do at wide receiver if Alante Taylor moves to safety. I don't think Taylor moves to safety. I just think you've got with McKinstry. I think, look, Alante Taylor is your slot cornerback. I think the bigger question is, if you have an injury, obviously McKinstry's your next guy up. With Adebo and Lattimore's missed time. And then is Lattimore back next year? You can off-ramp off of his deal after this season. And I know we talked about it yesterday, but actually, if you trade him post-June 1, his cap hit drops to $10 million. So you do have an opportunity to move on from him this year if you want to. At least gives you the option. Brett DeGrow, let's break out the brooms today. Mr. Fire D, good morning. Casey Smith, what's good? Rattler's better than any of our backups. It's a good pick. That's a good way to phrase it. If I gave you Spencer Rattler or Jake Haener, who would you take? I think that's easy. It's Spencer Rattler. If I gave you Spencer Rattler or Nathan Peterman, I mean, we know what Peterman is in the NFL. At least he's played a little bit. Maybe you could say it's a little more stable, and I could give you that. But if you're playing Nathan Peterman, you're going nowhere fast. And then Rattler or Mond, Rattler undeniably has a higher ceiling than Mond. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know why there's so many people that are adamantly against this pick. Tim Forshea, good morning, Matt. I agree. Love the pick. Excited for the future of the franchise. Cortland, I've seen Rattler look lost too much to believe he can never be an NFL quarterback. Yeah, Cortland, go watch him play last year against Tennessee or 2 years ago against Tennessee. Go watch that game and tell me he can't be an NFL quarterback. Becky, by the way, Cortland, if that's what you believe, then you didn't watch a lick of South Carolina football because Spencer Rattler is the only thing. I know they had Xavier Legette this year, but go back and watch that team the last 2 years, void of talent. Spencer Rattler is the reason they were competent. Becky, good morning. How about Alex Milazzo and Josh Pearson stepping up with the team needed? Absolutely. Definitely. Need those veteran guys to play a bigger role. Been waiting for that all year, Becky. Ryan, one of the most underrated picks we had was probably Jalen Ford from Texas, was there 4 years. Not the fastest, most athletic, but experience, knows the game. I was actually listening to ESPN Radio's draft coverage, our 104.5 ESPN coverage, and Jordan Miller, the draft analyst from I'm sorry, Jordan Reed. I combined Jordan Reed and Matt Miller. Jordan Reed was on the radio draft coverage, and he gave a big long profile on Ford and said, look, there's games where he flashes and is awesome, and there's games where he's a no-show. And he actually pointed out, I said, burn the tape from the Oklahoma game this past year, where you look at that and you're like, what happened to this guy? But the sort of the consensus there was if he can find the phrase he used about Ford was consistently inconsistent. And if he can find some consistency, then he could be a really good player. And I think if he does, then we could look back in hindsight and say, okay, you got a starter in round 5 at linebacker. Which would be awesome. And I'll remind you, I'll remind you, Demario Davis was a 3rd-round draft pick who from a small school who became an all-pro linebacker, who was cast aside, by the way, by 2 franchises before he became an all-pro with the Saints. So sometimes it's finding the right situation and the right opportunity to continue to grow and develop. And maybe that's what Ford will need. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being there. Bruce Shales, morning, Matt. Wish you would have gotten off earlier the day you're at Tap Room. I live a couple of blocks away. Make your way back to Laffy again. Will do, Bruce. Listen, I loved being over at the Tap Room. Great venue. It was good. Hadn't been there in a while. It was good to be back. And they were so hospitable. Would love to come back and do a show there again. Do some type of listener watch party event, something like that. Floated the ideas with my friends over there. So, yes, I would love to do that again soon. Jeff McKithen, how about Joe? Did the Saints not pick a player from Ohio State this year? Touche. Important note. Let's see. No, I just left it in there because it was Smokey from Don Juan the other night. Let's see. Bing James. Let's see. We still probably need another guard before the season starts. Maybe. Remember, they did sign Oli Udoh from Minnesota. Minnesota didn't renew his rookie contract, but he started 18 games. He played right guard. He's a tackle, but played right guard as well. But I do agree with you. I think they could very well go re-sign a guard and veteran free agency, and Andrus Peat makes the most sense. At least even if it's a non-guaranteed contract, you bring him to camp. And if you end up needing – if the guys that you have, the combination doesn't make sense, and keeping Pete as a guy that can play guard and tackle does, then you do that. Craig, Matt, 2 in a row. Time to give Jay a contract extension. Kubiak will turn Rattler into a franchise quarterback. I don't know that I'm even going to go that far, you know. Vance McBroom, what's going on? Ryan Thibodeau, Milazzo comes through in the clutch 2 nights in a row. Crazy, right? A guy that doesn't go up there trying to mash the baseball. He just, you know what the approach. Now, I'm not comparing him to this guy's a hitter. Please don't misunderstand me, okay? Especially the results. But you know what Milazzo's approach at the plate is like? It's like Rafe Rhymes. Rafe Rhymes knew he had no power in his bat. And all Rafe ever did was try to make contact and put the ball where they weren't. It didn't matter if it was a bleeder through the infield, a bloop to right, a liner to left. It didn't matter. All Rafe ever tried to do was have good bat control, don't strike out, make contact, put it in play, and hit it where they aren't because good things will happen. That's what Milazzo's done the last 2 years. Again, he's not doing it the rate Rafe did. Rafe hit 400, but 420, whatever it was, 422. Calm down, Muso. But yeah, that's what. Watch Alex. Alex hits the ball to all fields. He is just up there trying to make contact and to hit the ball where they aren't. Wherever the pitch goes, he'll go with the pitch and hit it to all fields. And he's not. I mean, it is not a hard swing. It's like playing golf with your grandfather. He's not trying to kill it off the tee, but my goodness, will he just come make solid contact straight through the ball and pipe it down the middle? You know, that's what it's like watching Milazzo at the plate. And you know what? You need that guy in your lineup because you need guys to get on base. That's what this team hasn't had. And Milazzo's doing it. Let's see. Casey said only pick I didn't like was Bub. I mean, you got to tell me why. Like it's more of a okay. And let's look. Let's look at what receivers were still on the board. And if you don't like Bub Means, then you have to tell me like you've actually watched him play and know. And I'm guessing most people haven't because I'm gonna tell you like I didn't watch a lot of Pitt Panther football, but you tell me you've got a receiver that's 6'2", 215 that averaged 18 yards a catch. I'm largely going to be like, okay, especially because like we talked about, the Saints took A.T. Perry last year around 6. That was great value. Like I did watch A.T. Perry play Wake Forest. I mean, he was the go-to guy for Sam Hartman in those Wake Forest offenses. And he's a big old dude. The knock on him was drops, but I like A.T. Perry, right? I mean, the Saints have had success drafting receivers. They know what they're looking for at that position. Okay, so let's see. Hi, bud. Oh, you ready to take off your backpack? Okay. He just walks up and stands with his back to me. He's like, he doesn't even say anything. It's like, here, take it off. Hey, do you want to say hi to Dad Show? No. Huh? Do you want to say hi to Dad Show? No. No. He gone. Yeah, he gone. Y'all do me a favor, please smash that like button if you would. Subscribe up to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. As always, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. After Hours Clinic, open nights and weekends as an alternative to the ER, brortho.com, brortho.com. And as you know, we are starting a new roofing company. Our contract with HUDCO expired. We're not renewing. So Terrio, Tilly, me, Joe Morales, Scott, our whole office staff, Christina, everybody, same group here in Baton Rouge, starting a new company. And the name of the new company will be announced any day now. No, but seriously, like really any day now. All right. Let's see. Let me pop down to the bottom just to catch some of y'all. Triple D 225. Drew said not today. LOL. Okay, wait, here we go. Casey, here was Casey who wanted Wilson. Let's see. Jaquan Jackson from Tulane went. Malik Washington, Virginia. You're talking about Johnny Wilson from Florida State. That's fine, but they're also very different types of receivers. Johnny Wilson, 6'7", and is not very fast. And it feels like you wanted Johnny Wilson probably because you know a lot about Johnny Wilson because you just saw him play against LSU twice, and you probably didn't watch Pitt play at all. That would be my guess. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing. Uh, any day now, roofing and construction. That is not the name of the company. But the name of the company is coming any day now. Gulf South Malazzo's hit Friday would have been a home run in Knoxville. Jake Knight, Tom Brady 6th-round pick, Ryan Leaf, yes, crapshoot. You just try to go. See, Trivy said sit Kling, put Jake Brown in. Could not disagree with you more. You need Kling's defense in center field, period. Like at this point, that much should be so apparent. Like your offense is not good or consistent enough to smash you to wins. Jake Brown's bat has not this year been anywhere close to consistent. Paxton Kling is by far your best defensive outfielder. And when you have Kling, Larson, and Pearson in the outfield, that is your best defensive outfield. And yes, give me a great defensive outfield. Look at the final out that Thatcher Hurd got. If you're watching the game last night, Thatcher Hurd came in through 3 pitches. It was a liner to left, and it looked like that was getting down. But Josh Pearson in left played the ball beautifully. Read it off the bat, caught it on the run. It was a great, great defensive play. That's why you have a great defensive lineup out there. And yes, Paxton Kling is part of that. And I'll continue to remind you that Paxton Kling is batting .211. And while that's no good, that's still 65 points higher than his low water mark of the season. He's become a more competent offensive. I didn't say good. I said a competent offensive player. So no, you're not sitting Paxton Kling at this point. That is not even a conversation. Ryan, if you had a better option, Trivia, I'm with you, but you don't have a better option. There is no better option. You want Jake Brown? Jake Brown's hitting .245. If Jake Brown were hitting .380 in limited at bats, I'd be like, give the kid a chance. He's hitting .245. His on-base percentage is .373. You want to know Paxton Kling's on-base percentage? .403. Paxton Kling's on-base percentage is 30 points higher than Jake Brown's. No, this is not even a conversation. If there was a better option, I'd hear it, but there isn't a better option, especially when you talk about an elite glove. Merrick Mathern. Okay. Hey, Erica, come see, please. Ryan Dixon, have you tried JT Mellett Cash Strength Whiskey? I have not. Ricky Tucker, any update on the DL Williams visit at LSU? I do not have an update. I just know that last week it was Barrow from Michigan State that was here. Merrick Mathern said, ask E-Rock, what does she think about the Spencer Rattler?
Can I have ground meat? I need to go check.
Just what do you think about the Rattler?
I don't like his last name. Reminds me of a snake. I don't like it.
There you go. She doesn't like his last name. Reminds her of a snake. So she doesn't like it. There you go. Danny Bray, when the Lions picked Wingo, they said it was the first LSU player they drafted since, I think, 91. So the Lions hate LSU more than the Saints. I'm wondering who they picked back in 91. I know they picked Eric Andelsek. I'm wondering if that's who it was. If Andelsek was in the 80s. I think Andelsek was in the 80s. Here you go. Wow. Okay. Here you go. Okay. Here you go. Yeah. So Detroit Lions all time have taken 17 LSU Tigers. 2024 Mekhi Wingo. Before that, 1991 Slip Watkins in round 11 with the 285th pick. Yes. The Lions hate LSU. The Jacksonville Jaguars, however, do not hate LSU. What time is it? 10:40. Okay. We do about 5 more minutes, y'all. I'm sorry if I'm going to miss you, but I got to go shower and get to church for 11:30. So, Dane first round, go E-Rock. Where are we? Tate thought the Saints would draft Wingo instead of Bub. But they ended up getting the player that they look. Christian Boyd is someone they saw on film when they were scouting Trevor Penning. So Christian Boyd went to Northern Iowa, same school as Trevor Penning. And he was at the Senior Bowl. They brought him in for a top 30 visit. We talked about it on AFR when they brought him in. And you can go look at the film, and and by the way, they took him with the 199th pick. That's the Tom Brady pick, by the way. 199. So you wanted a big, like, space-eating run stopper? That's Christian Boyd. He's 6'2", 320. Like, we can say all we want about Mekhi Wingo. And listen, I think the world of Mekhi Wingo, all right? I think from even just a character standpoint, before we even talk about the field, what he did on the field, I think Mekhi Wingo in the NIL portal era, opt-out era, comes off of surgery to come back to play in a bowl game. Like, he wore the 18, great dude, high motor, all that stuff. And yes, a low to the ground, big push from the interior. Mekhi Wingo is a good player. You have to also acknowledge that he's undersized, short arms. Like, will he actually be able to get a push in the NFL the way he did in college? There's questions there, right? So you're drafting also prototype size and skill set. So I understand it, man. And he's coming off an injury. So I get it. I get why they did what they did. Okay, Jay said, Ack has a leg injury, not serious. Okay, good. Yeah, it sounded like on the broadcast, I was watching the TV broadcast, and they had the radio broadcast over the TV broadcast. And so it was Chris Blair and Doug Thompson. I think they were kind of opining that might have been like an ankle. Like, they were just kind of guessing a little bit that, it looked that they were saying leg, but I'm just glad it wasn't anything more serious. Whew. Clayton Mallard, can't wait to hear the next AFR, your thoughts on these draft picks. Clayton, so I am going tomorrow. Like I said, I'm flying tomorrow to New York, so I'm going to be out Monday, Tuesday. I thought about that. I might today record videos for AFR's YouTube here in my office today to post on our YouTube channel, so people that want my Saints content don't have to wait 3 days after the draft to get it. I think I am going to do that today, as a matter of fact. Let's see. Dane, what's going to happen to the Hudco jingle? Unfortunately, we got to retire it. So just to be clear, like, Hudco's not going anywhere. Hudco, they're based out of Bossier, awesome people. I still, like, if you're in Bossier, North Louisiana, absolutely, give them a shout. Just a long, it's a long, complicated structure stuff. It doesn't. I don't think anybody actually cares. It's going to allow us to grow in a different way. So that's why we're doing it. It was just that one question. It wasn't a full Ask Rock. He just wanted that. I mean, nope. So Hudco jingle will get retired. We will. I've already talked to Mr. Toby Tomplay about a new jingle for the new company. So we're looking forward to that. Devin, do you think NFL will ever add more than 32 teams, or are they tapped out at 32? I mean, look, if you go listen to the interview I got to get going. The interview Goodell did with Pat McAfee this week, he talked about he does foresee, playing 16 international games. So it would basically be effectively one every week. I know it's a 17-week season, but when you talk about buys and everything, but I think Goodell also said he could see a team or division internationally. So if you do get to like an international division, Devin, I think you could certainly add more teams that way. Breaking news. E-Rock rates Rattler as a 0 cha-ching pick. Hey, Aunt Sharon, good morning. She walked into the other room, but I'll tell her you said hello. That's my Aunt Sharon in Arkansas. Hope y'all are doing awesome. Having a great Sunday. Okay. Oh no, Larry. Listening to another sports show, they said Bub is Traquan 2.0. Yikes. God help us. All right. Let's see. Go Tigers. How many LSU guys did we get drafted? 4, 5, 6. So you had the 3 first rounders, right? Jaden, Malik, Brian Thomas, Mason Smith went in round 2. And then you had Jordan Jefferson went to Jacksonville, and then Mekhi Wingo went to Detroit. So 6. All right. I think we are going to have to bounce because I have to go get ready for Mass. All right. Y'all have an awesome day. Yes, and which team had the most players drafted was Michigan with 13. So the record is Georgia had 15 drafted 2 years ago, which broke the tie between LSU's 2020 draft. That was the team after the 2019, and then 04 Ohio State, I think, also had 14. So, okay, we're done. I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. Again, YouTube, please smash the like button, subscribe up to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate you for being there with us as always. Shout out to Brock and the new roofing company, the name of which is coming any day now. Trivia, I'm not skipping your comments, man. What are you talking about? Like there's 300 people watching live and there's a bajillion comments. I got to go to church. Like I'm looking for you. All right, where's your comment, Trivia? I'm looking for you. I don't see you. I'm scanning all the comments looking for them, Trivia. I'm scanning. I don't see them. Looking. Here you go. Getting a new roofing company is like me waiting for my Drew gear from E-Rock. There you go. No, that's not true. Because Trivia, like the fact of the matter is, I will be announcing the name of our new roofing company, which is we've already decided it. We've got logos, the websites. We've already decided it. That's already done. Eric is just never going to send you that stuff. Like that's the thing. She's just never sending you that stuff. Like she'll continue to say she will. She's not doing it. Although I think she did one time. Anyway, okay. I really have to go now. Y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful Sunday. If anybody's hanging around the Mall of Louisiana after Mass, Drew and I are going to walk around the mall. So we'll see you there potentially. Come say hi. Peace. We'll see y'all. Have a good day.